too. And they're Homo sapiens like you. And they're Homo sapiens too. What? Are we live? I can't tell yet, but the important thing is that, it doesn't seem like Instagram wants to go live for me anymore. Well, I'm doing my best to make it live, to be connected, to share gratitude and hear gratitude. This is Hug Nation Live. This is a daily practice of gratitude. And I would say daily with an asterisk because it's immediacy first. And so sometimes I'm not here because the life takes priority. But I am excited to be here today. Good morning, Gerbot. I have been reflecting on our weekend in San Diego. We had a meetup, the annual Love Ambassador meetup in San Diego, California. I feel rejuvenated. It's so good for me to have this opportunity to connect and share gratitude with fellow like-minded, open-hearted people. But it is magnitudes more healing to be in person and have, focused conversation and have casual conversation and have downtime and having breakfast together. Oh, so grateful for that opportunity. I really, really treasure that. And I'm so grateful for everyone who said yes and showed up, including Chris. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you. And hello, High Noon. High Noon from the weight room. Badass. Good morning, Fairly Odd Mother. This photo that's on the screen right now, I just made a post where I was taking, people are like, man, with your beard, you look like, and so I was taking a picture of me, giving it to AI and say, make me into Father Time, make me look like President Chester Arthur, and things like that. And it's been pretty fun. Let's see, what are some other ones? Like someone said, oh, dude, you look like Castaway. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'll take it. Pretty funny. Gerbot says, still in the afterglow of last weekend. Such a great way to start the year. Right? I really feel like there were things that were unexpected, and some of my favorite parts of the weekend were parts that were kind of stumbled upon. Good morning, Juan. Chris says, grateful to have been driving on pothole-free smooth roads that wind around hills and interesting topography with palm trees. You mean when you were in California? Yeah. Well, San, side note, Chris, who just posted, he posted on Facebook when I posted that picture of Wilson, that his his aunt or cousin, a relative of his, does set design and is responsible for that ball. Now I'm hoping I didn't mess up that story. Yeah. I'm grateful for my partner, Lisa, and her sense of humor. This morning, I woke up and I had a sleep mask over my head. My hair was this big, and 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 she was up before me, so I kind of got up and like leaned on the door jamb, and she just started cracking up. I looked in the mirror. I'm like, quick, get to the DeLorean. But I think with this hat, I look very Osho. This is my Osho, buy me another Rolls Royce look. Natasha, good morning. Natasha says, so glad that you had a weekend together. I'm still struggling with pneumonia, but grateful my hubster will be home this afternoon. Oh, man, there's a lot of rough illness going around. I hope you're able to rest and back to 100% quickly. Mm. Chris clarifying, cousin Karen was the set decorator on Castaway and made Wilson. That's iconic. That's so cool. Natasha says, grateful for having found a therapist for my daughter. Yay. Hooray for therapy. Hooray for the normalization of valuing our mental health as just a part of optimizing our lives. Working on mental health is not a because of some sort of mental illness as a negative thing. It's the same way of like going to the gym is not a a indication of sickness. It is a valuing of health. And going to a therapist is a valuing of mental health. Life is better with a healthy body. Life is better with a healthy mind. And both of those organism systems require upkeep. It is a lifelong process to stay healthy in body and mind. So, thank you to everyone who is investing in prioritizing their health, body and mind. Natasha says, making humaning better. Yes. Fairly Odd Mother says, I'm grateful for my son and the beautiful ideas he has for creating a space for us to live and create. Ooh, that's great. Actually, I sent my mom a text this morning. I sent her some pictures of the coloring book I've been working on. I should say, I take a step back. 2 days ago, I gifted her a set of these pastel pens that Lisa and I both have been just loving as coloring tools. And so I showed my mom what I'd been working on a week ago, and she was like, "Oh, that looks so cool." And so I got her a set and I gifted it to her a couple days ago. I am side note, I so much more enjoy giving a gift randomly than at Christmas or a birthday when you have to. Anyway, so I gave her a gift. Although I said it's an early birthday present just to try to like ease the awkwardness of receiving a gift, and I regret that now. Okay, back on track. So, um, I gifted her the pens, and then this morning I said, "Hey, are you up for a coloring date tomorrow?" So, speaking of creativity and mother-son relationship. High Noon says, "I so am glowing still from seeing y'all in Mr. John's room." Mr. Rogers callback there. Yeah, yeah, if you missed it, was that Saturday morning? Saturday morning, um, we had Gerbot came in the room and Mingle, and Kristen came in. Is that all who came in? I think that's who came in. Um, and they shared gratitude, and we had a really, I mean, just a little taste of the kind of energy that the weekend produced. It was really cool. The archive is on YouTube live archives if you want to see it. Nice emoji work, Gerbot. He's putting the volleyball on screen. Well done. High Noon says, yay for inner growth with therapist help. Juan says, I'm grateful for how beautiful today is. Period. All of it. Period. I'm feeling that way today. I really woke with a lot of gratitude in my heart and so much gratitude for Lisa, for my home. I mean, this time of year in San Diego is it's like, "Oh, this is why we pay the rents we pay because January in San Diego is magnificent." I was doing yard work yesterday with my shirt off on a phone call with a client, and it was just like so nice. Girlbot says, "Yay for health and those who aid us on that path." Amen. I'm so grateful for my therapist and all and it's really it's not just therapists, it's everyone who does work then becomes more versed, more aware, their vocabulary is more, and so then we can become these reflections without any details or anything identifying. There was a moment during the weekend when someone at the retreat they were able to notice like, oh, I was just kind of got triggered and an old story came up for me and then I was able to be like, "Oh, wow." And when you did that, that actually brought this old thing up for me. And we were able to just go from being triggered in our stories to sharing the experience that we were having and then find common ground and healing. And it was it was super I thought it was beautiful. It was super helpful for me. And I think the more that we can be aware, the more that we can see that and reflect that in one another, the better. 68 and still processing. Heinun says, I am so grateful for focus on quality in lifting and adjusting weight volume to allow form to build. I appreciate hearing that. I sometimes in my physical therapy, it's hard for me to just keep it slow. I just want to go, okay, let's get 20 of these out. I'm like, no, no, no. Natasha says, I have 2 stickers on my laptop, Hug Monster and Merrily, 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 Merrily. Yay! That was a few weeks ago in my newsletter, which I hope you're all subscribed to my Substack. I said, if you read this far, send me your address and I'll send you stickers. And quite a few people took me up on it. It was really fun to send out stickers. And I kind of picked stickers for each person a little different. And so Natasha got the Hug Monster sticker and the Merrily Merrily. Well, that reminds me, we still haven't had a chance to give Christmas gifts to my brother and his family. And I've got a Hug Monster t-shirt that I made for him. But as Fairy Godmother says, yes, gifts for no reason. Maybe I should say we didn't get you any Christmas gifts this year, and then just say, hey, these are just random we love you in January gifts. Heineen says, I am thankful for nature being one guide in my art journey. The shades nature creates is beautiful. Yeah. Lisa and I were in Solana Beach where the last Love Ambassador Summit was. And we went there after the weekend. And as we were watching the sunset, she was reflecting on how beautiful it was to see how many people, we kind of up on a cliff, and you could see how many people along the beach were just still and watching the sunset. And I find that so heartening when I see, like, when you're hiking and you pass people on the trail and you just know that I don't know anything about you, but I know that if you value the beauty of nature enough to be out here today, then I feel kinship. And the same is true when I see people, spending time looking at the sunset. And she was like, what is it that makes us all, or so many of us, drawn to watch the sunset? And I was thinking, I've actually thought about this quite a bit, and I think it's because there is no greater artistic presentation than a sunset. It is the most grand, glorious, beautiful thing. And it's not like, sure, there's mountains and there's lakes and there's beautiful scenery, but a sunset is like a show. there's nothing as grand as the once and done. Each sunset is different and unique, and it's free. It's our gift of being alive and having eyes that can perceive light in that way. And each night we can have a new once in a lifetime show. That's special. Really makes me like I need there have been times in my life when sunset was like the focal point of my day, like when I lived in Solana Beach. And I'd like to amplify my valuing that time again. Keith! Oh my goodness. Keith says, I'm grateful for you turning up in my feed and giving me a chance to get grateful for being here and now on this amazing ride as a human. Love you, John. I love you, Keith. Oh my gosh. It would be so nice to see you now and see where we are in our lives. As you probably know, I've gone through a lot of change since we last met or last were in physical presence. And I think we have a lot of shared transformation. I love you. I'm so glad that our paths are intertwined. Natasha says, where did the love sign go? All right, extra credit for Detective Natasha, who noticed it was borrowed by Pink Heart. They put it behind the DJs for the Pink Party. It's been kind of this every year they do that, and I haven't got it back yet. But yeah, I was wondering if anyone would notice. Natasha says, my hubby and I both have Love Ambassador stickers on the backs of our cars. Yeah, me too. Chris says, grateful for all the connections this weekend, meeting new and old friends, appreciating their stories. And the bonus was it was such a great, beautiful environment. The actual space inside and outside. SoCal in January is the cherry on top. Yeah, it was a new experience for me we held the event in my home here. And it's a pretty intimate invitation. When people, using my bathroom and uh, going through my fridge. It was great. It's beautiful. Fairly Odd Mother says the only thing better than sunsets is sunrises. You may be right. I am not as present for sunrises as often, but when I am there for them, and I think also because as a West Coast person, the sun rises in the east, and it's not. There's very few places where it's as dramatic and beautiful as when it's setting over the ocean. Gearbot says, "I love the sunset show." When I used to work in Ventura, and I would take the train up Monday and back on Friday from San Diego to Ventura. And the Amtrak goes along the coast, a lot of the sections, and it's beautiful. Like it's you're right by the ocean for quite a bit of the ride. And when the ride home on Friday, depending on the time of year, often it would be during sunset. And I would be seeing like the sun setting and dolphins over the ocean. I was like, this is incredible. Now, to be fair, I was drinking at the time, and there's no better use of a long train ride than having several beers at that time in my life. But I had this idea that I wanted to make big signs or hashtag sunsets are free and put them so that people on the train would see hashtag sunsets are free. Um, yeah, I guess I could see now why I never did it. But that was one of my drunken train art project ideas. Oh, anyone else want to share any more gratitude? Anything that they're appreciating? Uh, I feel you, Keith. Heinun says, I'm grateful for access to see sunrises and sunsets over big ocean country as if you are on the East Coast and West Coast on the cods of the Cape. That's cool. I remember one time I watched the sunset over the ocean in San Diego, took a red eye to Florida, and then watched the sunrise uh, in Florida. I think that's what I remember. Something like that. Or maybe it was the opposite. I don't know. Maybe it was, but it was very cool. Sunrises are harder to catch. That's what makes them more precious to me. I love that. And when I was a kid waiting for the bus to go to school, I watched the sunrise every morning. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Keith says, would so love to be able to share some time. Yeah, I'm loving seeing your journey. I felt your words of love for me, John. Thank you. You have a very special place in my heart for always. Love you, brother. So happy to see you shine. Thanks, Keith. It's so, I'm not sure if you, saw or pay attention to current Pink Heart stuff, but it's been so like I went to the Pink Heart party this last weekend and 15 years ago Pink Heart started and it's now this beautiful thriving energy and community and vibe and even though it's been years since I've been involved, it's just really special to know that, all of our energy in its creation is still blossoming. Natasha says, I am grateful for my sunsets and sunrises here in Albuquerque too. One hits the valley and one hits the mountain. That's cool. And I didn't mean to be an ocean snob. I totally recognize that there's beautiful canvases or frames of sunset all over the world. Heinun says that tag, hashtag sunsets are free, sounds like a Banksy art project. Well, that's high praise because I think Banksy is incredible. I liked Banksy until I went to a Banksy exhibit that included like videos showing projects that he's done around the world that like the hotel slash prison that he made on the West Bank and the pink ship that rescues refugees. There's if you're not familiar with the breadth of Banksy work, it's not just graffiti. It's incredible. Or like he made I can't remember the name of it, but a fake Disneyland that's like it's next level, next fucking level. Good morning, Steve. Oops. Keith says, I'm grateful for the life-changing opportunities arising from starting a fine art degree. Ooh. Chris says, for all 3 nights I was there, I made an effort to witness the sunset. La Jolla Seal Beach, then your place, and then Oceanside Pier. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Carol says, Banksy is the GOAT. Dismal Land, that's what it was. That's the fake Disneyland. Yeah, Dismal Land. Really, I mean, I cannot recommend enough. It transcends what you consider to be art. It like anyone else want to share any gratitude? I'm grateful. Oh, I had a cool experience yesterday. So I have had a pair of Meta glasses for a while, the ones that record and take pictures. I got them because, and I've had a lot of success. I've taken incredible video when I'm playing with Asher. Because the minute I take a camera out, he goes like, so but if I wear the glasses, I can get just like capture his real beauty. Like, I was wearing them when we were jumping over waves, and he was just laughing like crazy his last visit, and I just treasure that, and there's no way I could record it with a camera, or a phone. So, that has been the best. I've also used it, like, at events and things just to or like at, for Saturdays just to get, like, a lay of the land without people feeling like I'm taking their picture. So I've used it more than I thought I was going to, and so they just had a version 2 came out, so I'm like, "Ooh, I wanna try that," because it's higher resolution, and they had a pair that was like, maybe I'll even show you. They had a pair that was white because the ones that I've been using, they're like black Ray-Bans, and I feel like I'm wearing a disguise. I feel like it has like a fake nose on it. But then they came out with these ones, they're white, and they look kinda like the ones that I wear, and so I got them, but I don't know, the shape is just a little too librarian-y feminine for me. So I'm like, "I don't think I like this." Here, let's see if I can show you the other one. So these are the ones that I've had in the past. But they just look like I feel like I'm it's like a disguise. Um, I mean, now that I look at these, they're not that bad. Anyway, um oh, I hope I put this in the right one. Oh, boy, that would be bad because I'm trying to return one of these. All right, well, anyway, so but there's a even newer version. The software's well, but it has a wrist thing that goes with it, and it has visual. It shows images inside the glasses, and I'm like, oh, I want to. And the frames are like bigger, chunkier, like more my style. And there was one that's kind of a brown, and so but you can't even buy it online. You have to make an appointment to try it on and get a demo. So I had a demo yesterday of the new Meta Band with visual and wrist. So, okay, so I go in and first of all, the frames look way better on my face. They've got a bigger ones that like I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." But they didn't have the brown ones in stock. So I'm taking a chance. And so the wrist thing goes on and you just make this gesture to scroll, and then you, like, select, and so there's this so she's showing me all these things, and so you go, like, select messaging, and then you speak, and it types it. The other cool thing, so you can start recording a video, and then you go record and go vroom, and it zooms in, zoom you just with your hand because it's measuring it's looking at your muscles as you're doing stuff with your hand, and then the other cool thing it does is it does live captioning. So if it's loud and you can't hear someone, it'll, like, have the captions on the screen. Oh my god, I should get that for my dad. And the other thing it does is, it translates. So she started speaking the demo person started speaking in Spanish, and it starts doing like, in English on the bottom, which I guess the new AirPods do that as well, but I was like, "Yes, please, I want this." I mean, it's not cheap, but, considering my lifestyle, it's the kind of expense that makes sense to me. And they said, "Great. Well, here, we'll put you on the waiting list, and we'll give you an opportunity to buy it in, like, 2 to 3 months." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Okay." But, I mean, I went because I thought the frames would look better on me, but after the demo, I was like, I wanna play with." It's interesting that, like, on the, it does maps, but it only does maps for walking because they don't want you to use the map while you're driving. Um, Garrett says, "Your impression of Asher in front of a camera totes reminds me of Calvin and Hobbes making funny faces." Yes, I think that's accurate. So anyway, I didn't mean to turn that into an advertisement, um, but I do enjoy technology, and I do enjoy, like, Well, no, I don't enjoy all technology, but if there is a way for me to enjoy technology, I like playing with it. Gearbot says, "Wow, live captioning and translation, talk about living in the future." Right? Hello, Rooster. Hello to you in Calgary. Yeah, it was and the other thing is that I like is because I often use, um, the the glasses in, like, in a crowded place, like, I think it's cool to just get footage of, like, a dance club or something like that, and there's lights that blink, so it's not like it's not supposed to be, like, secret, but, when you hit the button, you can tell it goes like it makes a sound so you can tell when it's starting to record, and if it's loud, I can't hear it. So sometimes I'm like, I have to like take them off and look at it. Is the light on? Turn it back on. But with the visual, you can totally tell, and the way it is now, like it has like AI. So I can say, "Hey Meta, what am I looking at?" And it will say, "That is a refrigerator," or "Hey Meta, who painted this?" And an art gallery, and it'll look at it and analyze it and tell you. But I'm not the kind of guy that is comfortable saying, "Hey, Meta." So in this visual one, you can just go click scroll with your hand to the AI portion and then just ask a question and go, "Who did this painting?" And Meta will give you the answer in your ear. Wow. Yeah, I mean, who knows how buggy it is, but it I I was v way more impressed and excited after the demo. I was like, "Oh my god, I so wanna try this." But then they're like, "Do you wanna get it with your prescription lenses?" And I was like, Because I don't wear my glasses all the time. I don't really need to." Like, this distance, I don't need it. I wear it for driving, and I wear it for close up, so I have progressives. So, now that I think about it, what if I did get the progressives, and then I just wore them all the time. Oh boy. But one reason why I didn't wanna get this prescription is because like, I didn't want to fully integrate my life into having, you know, the digital options in my eyes. In my Oh, now I don't know. Oh boy. I don't know. Rooster says, "Sounds like one step away from X-ray vision." I mean, it's one step it's close to like a neural implant, like you can like I wonder it wasn't part of the demo, but I'm sure it's not that far off, but like you could have it sync to like your contacts, maybe your Facebook contacts and be like, "Who's that?" "That is your friend Keith Beanie." "Ah, right. Where is he from?" "Keith Beanie is from a magical land far away." Uh Heinen says, "Grateful for speaking your truth of what you see in this tech, John. I just have concern with uploads of data, how it can be used. I do love the figures, though. Perspective." Um, I should just let me just address that briefly, which is that so I have been sharing with zero regard for protecting myself for 20 plus years. So I long ago kind of decided that I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of my image and my thoughts and my words and my video being available and my data. So, I mean, I use Signal for conversations that I don't want to be subpoenaed. Um, but I do not have a very strict control over my data. I think you have a very valid point. I had just decided that, I'm going to be I'm gonna have to deal with it. There's a lot of things in life like that. Like, I'm not well prepared for disaster. I do not know how to shoot a gun, and so I've kind of made some bets. Like, if society collapses, I'm gonna be eaten within a few weeks by someone stronger and more versed in survivalism. If data gets turned against us, I am going to be a victim of uh, whatever corporate um, persecution looks like. Um, hmm. Fairly Odd Mother pointing out the only problem with the prescription is you'll have to buy a new pair every time your prescription changes. That's an interesting point. And there's a part of me that wants to like get another surgery and see if I can fix my eyes someday. Although who knows? I mean, the glasses are pretty expensive. Um, so yeah, you might want to keep them long. Well, I gotta say, I am delighted to have been able to spend some time this morning sharing gratitude and connection. Part of the love ambassador path is one is gratitude focus and trying to use gratitude in a number of ways. One, in taking things that you've been taking for granted and bringing them into your awareness. Like, I love how Chris was talked about the roads, the well-maintained roads that we use so often without really appreciating that not that doesn't shouldn't be taken for granted. That type of gratitude in returning your focus to the things that are good and not letting your mind stay pulled towards what's going wrong, but to take the celebrations and be like, oh, that was so good. The thing that just happened this weekend. Oh, it was so nice to share breakfast with people who are in this live broadcast right now, that we were all in physical space and like, wow, I'm so grateful that we had that opportunity to not take those good moments and just let them slip into the filing cabinet of memories. Gratitude for opportunities coming up in the day ahead and or the weeks ahead, possible futures, being grateful for things like that. And then also using gratitude as a way to reframe struggles. Find gratitude for access to medical care while you're having an illness, access or grateful for the opportunity to grow and learn from challenges, or gratitude for little bits of light amongst a situation that is filled with difficulty and struggle. So that's part of it, is the gratitude. And then the other part of the being a love ambassador is just taking a little moment to think about the kind of person that you want to be today. What are the traits? I want to be patient. I want to be giving. I want to look for ways to gift. I want to be, maybe it's, instead of being patient and good listener, maybe it's, I want to be assertive. I want to flex my voice and take up more space. But whatever the version of you that would make you proud to be that, just have a few moments to think about that. So that then as the day unfolds and the email comes in or the phone call or the opportunity or you pass someone on the street, you go, oh, here is that chance for me to make the decision in the direction of the person I want to be. This is what a love ambassador, as what I would do as a love ambassador in this moment. It's now. Keith, yes, I would love that. I would love that. Fairly Odd Mother says, I'm so grateful for our time together whenever I'm able to catch it. Me too. Heineen says, I'm grateful for you all in this space and those who have helped build tech that allows us to connect. You know, well, this is, I, my first startup in 1999, I left a college club with Dimitri Shapiro and Adam and Jason, and we started a company called Citizen X, and it was a webcam-based social media site, a community site. There wasn't the word social media didn't exist back then. So I have been excited by the technology that we are experiencing right now for 7 years. It's way better now. Well, before we head out, wherever you are, give yourself a hug. And as you are feeling into this body, appreciating our ability to see sunsets and taste food and hear music, and also appreciating the opportunity to connect with fellow humans and hear little bits of their experience. And through that, have a greater understanding of what life is. And so grateful for the time to connect, the opportunities to grow, the ways to be of service. So grateful for all the love in our lives and for one another as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb, Reverend Caleb Sheichels, and all of us, thanks for being here. I love you. Have a beautiful day.